what's up, you guys? Marty Schwartz here with Marty Music. Really excited to have my friend Daniel Donato back for another guest session. He's been on the channel here, and you guys really dug it, so we got him back. He's going to talk about double stops. Thank you for watching, and also real quick, if you check the description below, we've got links for all of his social media and other education stuff. You can go see him on tour with Daniel Donato and Cosmic Country. All right, without further ado, take it away, Daniel Donato.
Thank you, Marty. Very kind man. My name is Daniel Donato, and I'm looking forward to discussing with you today one of my favorite concepts in all of guitar, which is double stops. Me and my Telecaster will be walking you through this new idea, and if it's not new to you, I know I have some new ideas to bring to you that you might not have thought of yet. Let's get to work in the key of A. What we're doing here essentially with a double stop, what this means is that normally when we play guitar, we can play one note at a time, right? So if I'm in the key of A and I want to go 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, it's really cool, right? But if I want to add harmony to that and I want to thicken up the sound and say something it's just a little bit different on the guitar, I could add a harmony note to that, and that is what is known as a double stop. So you're essentially just playing two notes at once. With double stops, you can go in strings that are right by each other, which are thirds. Or I could also go in sixths, which is just strings that are right next to each other with one string in between. You've probably heard the old Hank Williams yodels. That's all double stops. If you watch my previous video on hybrid picking, you'll see that I'm using my ring finger and my middle finger to hit a lot of these double stops. So if you want to get a little bit more practice on that and it still feels foreign to you, go back to the previous video of hybrid picking. But we're going to be using the hybrid picking technique throughout this entire discussion on double stops here today. So the first part of our exercise here today will be running the A major scale in thirds. For the example right now, we're going to do it on the string set of G and B string. Let's run it just on single strings first. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. I'm speaking in scale tones here, not frets. So this will be the first tone of the scale, the second tone of the scale, the third tone of the scale, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, and the 1. The frets are going to be 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, 11, 13, 14. The major scale, the way that the pattern unveils, is that for the 1, it's major. For the 2, it's minor. These are going to be the two shapes that we see within double stop forms. You're going to have a major shape and a minor shape, a yin and a yang, a black and a white. Major, 1, 2, minor, 3, minor, 4, major, 5, major, 6, major, or 6 minor, 7 diminished, which is just a fancy minor, and then major, 1. So one more time. And then let's descend here. Let's process this information that we learned up. Let's play it down. Notice how on my right hand I'm going pick middle. You also could expand the practice by doing just the fingers. Full circular motion. Our first exercise will be like this. me show you one more string set on where we could do this, so you can see that these same notes exist on different strings, which will be in different parts of the neck. We're going to do this on the D and G strings here. So, say we start with just 1, 2, 3. And 3, 2, 1. Let's do this now on the D and G strings. So what I have here is I have 7, 6, 9, 7, 11, 9, 9, 7, 7, 6. Let us run through the entire A major scale on the D and G string. Let's go down. So let's run through the A major scale in thirds with double stops, up and down on the D and G strings here. And why we're doing this is, again, we're seeing that the pattern that was on the G and B strings exists elsewhere. And I want to know where that elsewhere is so I can play it in every possible register and feel comfortable throughout the totality of the fretboard, even if it's a 21 fret guitar like this one. Another way you can practice this is just by simply doing the G and B string scale and then the D and G string scale with each other. 2, 3, 4, D, G. Those are thirds. Sixths are very cool. We hear sixth a lot. Blackbird by the Beatles is composed of a lot of sixths. My A major scale, my E string, and then descending. There's nothing more true and honest in the major scale, but you might want to add something to it, and that's where these sixths can come in. Now we're going to be on the E and G strings here. 6, 5, 1 major, 7, 7, 2 minor, 9, 9, 3 major, 11, 10, 4 major, 13, 12, 5 major, 14, 14, 6 minor, 16, 16, 7 diminished, which is just a sophisticated minor, and then 18, 17. So let's descend here as well. 1 major, 7 diminished, 6 minor, 5 major, 4 major, 3 minor, 2 minor, 1 major. Now what I was doing here was actually pick a ring finger. And then descending. A great solo that you can go listen to that uses this technique is Pete Anderson playing on Dwight Yoakam's Guitars and Cadillacs. Does a great job using these. That kind of a deal. That's a very musical execution of this pattern. But you want to know the pattern almost in a non-creative, fundamental way before you really start to try to improvise and learn melodies from it. So that was our sixth on E and G string. So let us find this on a different pattern here. Let's try it on A and G strings. So what we'll have here is 1 major. That'll be on 4, 2. 2 minor, which will be on 5, 4. 3 minor, which will be on 7, 6, 4 major, which is on 9, 7, 5 major, which is on 11, 9, 4 major, or 6 minor rather, which will be on 12, 11, 7 diminished, which would be on 14, 13, and then 1 major, which will be on 16, 14. One more time, slowly ascending. And then now let us descend. If you can start that and you can get very comfortable with that, the universe is truly your oyster, because you can expand to any harmonic region of your musical desire once you have this foundation in a non-creative way, very much integrated into your playing. That was the second exercise for double stops here today. The third one is adding chromaticism in there. Chromaticism is a kind of inexpensive, sophisticated sounding word, but all this means is that you're breaking the rules of the major scale in a strategic fashion. Let's go back to the G, B string here. Remind ourselves of the major scale that we had. What I can do is I can actually add notes in between here that will work in songs in a way that the major scale wouldn't work. So let's look at the chromatic double stop scale in the key of A. You can already hear how that would be so musical. The Grateful Dead, Truckin' is a song, if you listen to any of their live versions of how they start this, moving to the key of E, you'll hear that they'll use these chromatic double stops often. That's what all that is. One more time, let's run through the A chromatic scale with double stops here, and this will be our third part of our double stop exercise here. And then descend. Let's do it very slowly. I can do the same thing with my sixths. Very slowly. And then descending. So to wrap up all of this, what we talked about here were double stops, which is essentially taking single notes and adding harmonies to them. So you can say just a little bit more. We use the hybrid pick technique to play these double stops. How we played the double stops in the key of A was mostly through the major scale. We did that with thirds, which are strings that are directly by each other. And then we did it with sixths, which are strings that are by each other with one string in between. It's a different sound. And then we made the scale just a little bit more musical by adding chromaticism into there. And we did the scale on the G and B strings, and then we also did it on the G and E strings.
right, thank you guys for watching. Also, once again, huge shout out and thank you to Daniel Donato for doing this little guest session here. If you dug it, or you have any questions, or you'd like to see more topics with Daniel, let me know in the comments below. And also, while you're down there, you can check links for Daniel Donato's social links, Daniel Donato Cosmic Country, and also his education stuff. So check it out, support him. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.